Hi, how are you doing? Good. Before we get into the topic of this video, I just wanted to sit down and say a few things. So if you would like to just skip ahead to where I talk about goal setting, you can go ahead and click to this time. I will not be offended. I'm back. I have not posted a video in a while, quite frankly, because I didn't want to. And I do now, and so here we are. In the past, I had the habit of amplifying my personality in an effort to sound more interesting. And I don't want to do that anymore. This is what I sound like. I sometimes am going to be an idiot on camera. We've all seen the videos, and I will kindly ask that you don't go looking for them. It's just me and my kitty in this house, and I am going to use my inside voice, if that's okay with you. Ultimately, I want to make content that I'm proud of, and I want to give my honest self as much as possible. And so what comes with that is a certain level of vulnerability, which I absolutely want to give, but just understand that this is the internet and I'm working with some kind of boundaries for myself. Some of my personal experiences will just be generalized. With that said, I can't make half of the videos that I'd like to make without sharing stuff about myself. So buckle up, kiddo. I did some quick thinking about who I'm making content for, and I've always said I make content for me. I don't think that's entirely true. What's more accurate is I make content for people like me. I'm a very introspective person. I observe a lot. I spend a lot of time and energy processing things, and I feel like I've done it all my life, but it wasn't until this last year that I really realized that I was doing it. But I love feelings, and a lot of things affect me emotionally. And sometimes they're good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little. But all that means is I just spend a lot of time by myself, decompressing and kind of figuring myself out. I'm still me, still like to do hood rat things with my friends. I'm still gonna be a fool on camera sometimes. If you're at all like me, or if you know someone like me, that's who I'm making content for. So you're very welcome. You're probably like, what is he talking about? Why is he being so vague about what he is making? Let me be more specific. I'm coming into this phase in my life. You can call it growing up or becoming more self-aware, but I'd say I'm on a little bit of a personal growth journey. It's been going realistically since like January of last year, but it's like in full swing right now. There's a handful of topics that I'm super interested in that revolve around things like my relationship with myself, my relationship with the people in my life, or things like what success professionally looks like, or romantically, blah, 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 blah. Overall, like general human experiences, things that if I'm experiencing them, you've probably experienced them at some point in your life too. All I want to do is create a platform or use a platform to dive deeper into that stuff, to focus and research things about me or things that interest me, and to become part of that conversation. It's fun, it's interesting. It's what I do when I'm passing time anyway. So in short, I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone. One, create more things, and two, talk about the things that interest me. Those are the goals. The last thing I want to say is that if any of the topics I bring up slap you across the face at the right time in your life, if you like a video, if you dislike something I say, if I've missed the mark, if you have more research or more to add to what I'm saying, if you have book suggestions, holla at your boy. You can comment on this video. You can find me on all of my socials. I'm a child of the internet just like you. With a name like Kyvon, it's not that hard to find me. I would love to hear from you. That's the whole point of all of this. I will stop talking. Let's get into it.
Get into it!
It's 2020, a new year, a new decade. Everyone and their mother has New Year's resolutions, or a good reason as to why resolutions aren't right for them. But either way, chances are you've probably already put some thought into what you might want out of this year. If you haven't, Maybe you will by the end of this video. Today we're talking about the art of goal setting. It's a new day, hence the outfit change. I'm for sure not the only one you've heard talking about setting goals. It's January, new year, new me. I'm still getting fat, but working on it, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to speak on this subject because I'm a very future-oriented person, and making goals and achieving them contributes a lot to my self-image. Basically, I want to be someone who does what he sets out to do. There's a quote by Jodi Picoult, which I really love, and then I'm going to rephrase right now. The difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. I'm a very organized person, and sometimes I have the tendency to overplan my life, but I think there's a lot of benefits in thinking ahead and writing things out and challenging myself from time to time. I wasn't always like this. Like back when I was in college, I was in a period in my life where I wanted to expand my worldview and do things that I wouldn't normally, and meet a bunch of different people. So I said yes to almost everything. I was in a very hedonistic stage, meaning I just did what felt right in that moment. Now that I'm older and I'm making an effort to fully understand myself, I'd say that it is more important to me to make a strong effort to live with more intention. In fact, that is one of my only overarching goals for the entire year. Living with intention to me means being respectful to myself and the people I have in my life. It means only going after what I really want, only saying yes to what I really want to do, and so on. It's just a constant reminder that I've taken the time now to know who I am and who I want to be, and just to keep growing towards that. So how do I do that? And I think that's where goal setting comes in. I was recently reading an article on success.com. It was literally titled, "Master the Art of Setting Goals in 4 Steps." I thought it might be really helpful to people that aren't necessarily used to writing their goals down, or might offer some new perspective to people like me who have been doing this in some way, shape, or form for as long as they can remember. I'll save you some time. Here are the 4 steps. Number 1, go beyond dreaming. The author discussed what she calls the WHOOP method. Pretty easy to remember, but the first one is just wish. This part is really self-explanatory. We're all really good at this, even if you're just a dreamer. You just identify what it is that you want. The next is outcome. Think about what that ideal scenario is. What does it mean to achieve your goals? What does that look like? What does that feel like? This third one, obstacle. I think this is really important in differentiating between a dream and a goal. You take the time to identify any potential impediments to your success. And then the P obviously is just plan. And so name an action that you can take if and when you reach that obstacle. Next on that list is to do it, draw it. And this step goes into detail about what kinds of goals that you should be setting. And so obviously we've all heard only make goals that are measurable and achievable and realistic and so on and so forth. But even more so, I'd say set goals that you are excited about. Set goals that you have some sense of urgency about, that you don't want to or cannot procrastinate on. And I think it should be said that not all of your goals need to be measurable per se. Like for example, how do I put a number on whether or not an action I took was done with intention? You can't do that. It's more of a quality over quantity type thing anyway. So I think a healthy mix of goals that can be checked off versus ones that are a little bit more abstract is super common. This is me validating you right now. The third step I'll talk a little bit more about in a second, but it is just from big picture to daily tasks. It's all about forming healthy daily habits that allow you to move towards what you want to achieve. We'll come back to that in just a second, but the last one is minimize goals, maximize payoff. Having a long list of goals is great and all, but at what point does the amount you need to achieve get in the way of actually achieving things? Does that make sense? I really like to start by asking myself, what do I really, really want? And I will strip that back a step and say, of this list, what's super important to me? And then once that list is cut down, I say, okay, is this realistic? The amount that I want to get done in the time that I'm allowing myself to get it done, can I actually? And if the answer is no, then you strip back more, right? Too much of a good thing and a good thing no more, you know what I'm saying? I'll leave a link to the full article by Shelley Levitt in the description of this video. So you've identified your goals. I'd say it's pretty easy at this point to just jump in and get started, right? Hold on, let's talk about some foundations really quick. I was recently watching a Nathaniel Drew video called How to Reinvent Yourself in 2020. At the foundations of goal setting, Nathaniel says you need to have the right mindset and create the right environment in order to get to where you're trying to go. From there, you're able to form the necessary habits and ultimately tick the items off your list. That's great and all, but it's hella vague. So I'll give you an example of one of the challenges I've given myself this month. The goal? Get a handle on these love handles. So many people's resolutions revolve around working out or getting better. So I know I'm not alone in wanting this for myself, but for me, it had to start with the right mindset. I don't think I'm all that fat. In fact, most days I happen to like my body. I would love to feel healthier and maintain some semblance of healthy habits while my metabolism is still more than just a figment of my imagination. In short, I'm not doing this because I think I need to in order to be valuable. That was important to tell myself going into it. Next, I created an environment where I was set up for success. That meant writing out each workout on a calendar and hanging it up in my room. I downloaded a special timer on my phone and pre-programmed the workouts into them. I keep my yoga mats at the ready. So far, I've had no valid excuse as to why I can't do today's workout. So I do them. The last two are the fun parts, right? Creating the habits and actually achieving the goals. It's said that in order to make or break a habit, it takes 21 days of doing that thing consistently. I'm aiming to jumpstart my desire to work out in the future by sticking to a schedule now. So when I go to do a little ab workout, it's that much easier because I've already spent the time developing the habits. I really do think that Nathaniel's breakdown can be applied to most of my goals, at least immediately. And it's a great way to force myself to consider, what's the intention behind this? If you haven't already, check out Nathaniel. His content's pretty rad. Let's play a game of how many times can Kyvon change his outfit in one video? I want to sit down and give you just some quick takeaways. 1, set goals that are achievable, that really excite you, and really think about why it is that you want to achieve that in the first place. 2, as with every skill, this is going to take practice. So give yourself grace when you mess up. Don't quit just because you didn't have a perfect run. It's really, really counterproductive. Set yourself up for success by thinking through all of the obstacles that you might come across and have a plan for them. And maybe even go as far as asking a friend to help keep you accountable. As I said at the beginning of the video, if I've missed something or you want to tell me about your goals for the year, I would love to hear from you. So drop me a message. Hi. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. So I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.